On today's episode of Beyond the Frequency, we talk with Dina. Now, she's incredible. She's an amazing person. She's a psychic, medium, channeler. She has the 5 clairvoyant senses, and the way she actually connects, and I think they call it multi-channeling. The way she multi-channels is just incredible. It's amazing and impressive to see. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with at least one person that you know. I know you know somebody, so share with one person. I think they'll enjoy this conversation. Without further ado, let's start the show. Hey, before you start the show, if you're on YouTube or Rumble, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. You want to make a comment? Go for it. It's America. And if you're on Spotify, hit those 5 stars. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the support. Let's go. Have you ever wondered how much more is happening around us than we can perceive with our own physical senses? Today, we delve into the realm of the unseen and explore the boundless reaches of human perception. My guest, Dina, embodies the essence of intuitive mastery, possessing all the clairvoyant abilities that many have only whispered about in tales and mystic and seers. These remarkable abilities include clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognitus, and clairguntius. I may be saying these incorrectly, but again, she will explain those here soon. Each ability is a window to the vast universe of hidden truths, and Dina holds the keys to unlock them all. She navigates these realms with the grace of a seasoned traveler, drawing on wisdom that transcends the boundaries of the ordinary. In this episode, we journey beyond what is known and accepted, diving into the enigma of intuitive perception. Prepare to stretch your understanding as we go beyond the frequency, where the veil is thin and possibilities are infinite. Don't forget, before we start the show, like and subscribe and share this with somebody that you know. And now, it's my honor to introduce to you, Dina. Dina, hi, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's very fun. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. And I think we're going to have a great conversation.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. My hands are sweating. I'm excited.
It's all good. Appreciate it. Well, look, let's get straight into this. So, before we start getting into all the woo-woo stuff, right? As they say, who I like to ask all my guests, who were you before all the craziness? Who were you? Tell us.
You know, it's funny. I've been doing this since I was 4. So I've been me the whole time. I just didn't know that I was different. I didn't know that people couldn't do what I do. And until about maybe 6, 7 years ago. And then it started really starting to kind of the fog dissipates and the picture's coming a little clearer. And it was really feedback from people, oh, you can do that. And I'm just kind of looking like, well, you can't. And, so that's where it kind of made me awaken a little bit to what I really can do. And I just do it. So I'd say I was 4 years old. And I remember saying, oh, I got to stay here till I'm 18 because the rule was you got to be home and you can't leave till you're 18. And I said, oh, I got 14 years of this. So I'd say the whole time I'm me. I'm me.
I love it. I love it. So can we consider it that you were awakened since 4, or like you say, you didn't even know what the term awaken was, right? You just had these abilities. This was who you were.
Yeah, this was the dream world. I wanted to go, I slept a lot. My mom had me tested for tired blood when I was 4 because I didn't want to be here. So I would make myself go to sleep so I could go back to where I was. And that's where the soul. So I've been astral projecting since I can remember. It was just that I thought this was the dream world. So I kept going home so I could wake up. Like I didn't want to be here. So, and I didn't have tired blood. So I just slept a lot. I just felt like it was the exit to this mean world. Like I just witnessed it, as a young child. So, and then when I noticed I had 14 years, then I kind of tucked it away. Looking back, I can say I tucked it in a treasure chest. And I didn't know what to do with it. I just knew that I had to play the game of life. So I had my kids when I was young, and then I had my third child when I was in my late 20s. And during that surgery, the doctor who helped my doctor, she cut my abdominal muscle and I hemorrhaged. So I went flatline and I died. During that time frame, it's medically documented. I was walking the light. And before I got to the light, I was pulled back. So I didn't know that I had just had a C-section. I didn't know that my ex-husband was in the room. I didn't know none of that. So I just knew I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to the light. I was so excited. And then I was a little bit, I didn't like it when I was vacuumed back. So it really felt like a movie. That's when I can really say was my reawakening. That's when the treasure chest opened and more of my gifts was coming out. And I was just like, well, wow. Yeah. So I did tuck it away and then and then it just kind of came back out. I mean, it's really kind of weird to explain because it just happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. No, I mean, I don't explain.
I went to a doctor to make sure, I wasn't crazy, so I already did that and went through 6 sessions and they said, no, you're not crazy. You just need to sleep. And I didn't want to sleep because I could astral project, but I didn't know what I was doing and how to control it. So I went through a large period from like probably 2010 till like 2000 and like probably 18, where I really went through this long battle of learning, but being confused. Like it's like walking in a mirror maze. Like, you're safe, but you're just straight confused. So I started like shrinking back and trying to like nip things here and there to start understanding. So I met with some mediums here and there. A friend of mine always wanted to go. And, one medium said, your gifts will surpass mine. And that was it. And I just kind of looked like, well, what does that mean? She wouldn't tell me. So I had to really dive in and look even more. So that's when, I am, you were speaking of the clairs. So there's 8 main clairs. So you have
Please talk about it.
clairvoyance, and that's a clear sense of vision. You have clairgustance, which is a sense of taste. So I can taste things. A clairsalience is a clear sense of smell. You have clairaudience, which is a clear sense of hearing. Claircognizance is a clear sense of knowing. Clairsentience is a clear sense of feeling. So, like when I helped find the Brendan Santos in Michigan, the missing person, there was another person who had passed away in that same area. His name was Eric Blair, and he had no problem coming right in. So that was the first time I experienced with a client there and some volunteers, an actual like spirit coming in me and talking through me. So it reminded me of like the that movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze. And then once he jumped out, she's like, what did you do that for? That literally was like how it felt. And my client's looking at me and I'm looking like, what just happened? Yeah. So that was, I didn't get all this at once. I can say, I definitely can tell you that. Clair empathy is being able to detect psychic info through emotions. So I pull energy. And clairtangency, which is a clear sense of touch. So I can touch. That's why I knew you had like in our prior reading like a tablet stone. I could feel it. I also will get a taste. I think one of our sessions I was talking to you about blueberries.
Right, you were. Yeah.
Yeah, I can taste them. So one time I had a client because I can some mediums they got to see, but I don't got to. I'm gonna go right in your third eye. So when I go in your third eye, I can tell you what your house looks like, and I know you've never been there. So
That's
one of
awesome.
my clients in Ireland, I told her what her house looked like, and she was like, I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I just go right in your third eye, and I can see more than what you can. So when I do this, I can pull energy from people texting. So I can read people by seeing them, hearing them, or pulling from a text. and then I can go into you and read somebody else. So that I feel what I found out from a group of mediums is I can multi-channel. So why, I don't know. I just do it. So I don't
Yeah.
ask the why. A lot of times people get stuck on the whys. Don't ask why, just do it.
Yeah. I love that. First of all, Dina, thank you so much for explaining those different clairvoyance abilities for those listeners and viewers that don't know what that is at all. I hope that explains it some. And don't forget, guys, even though you guys don't understand, do your own research, okay? Don't believe anything that either I'm saying or anything that Dina is saying, full-heartedly. Like, if you want to, do your research. And as you guys also, for those of you that are watching this, if you see Dina, close her eyes or maybe get a little tick here and there, it's because she's multi-channeling. So they're either talking to her, she's listening, she's tasting, she's doing the whole 9 yards and everything. So I want to make sure that that's clear for those that just are, pushing play and they're like, what's going on here,
I
So,
know that's why I tell people
I'm used to it.
I tell them, like, I know that I close my eyes a lot. One of my mediums, and she actually is more like Reiki in California. She wouldn't go live with me, and I'm like, why? And she's like, I click. So you guys might hear me click at times. That's me changing frequencies, depending on who I got to jump rope to get the message. Or it's like an elevator. You look up and you say, okay, there's different floors. So I could be in an elevator and I click and that'll put me up to another frequency. So it's a lot of it's they talking. So I let people know, like, I see a lot. Everything I'm telling you, I see. I got a photographic memory and things just don't leave. So so there is a guy here and he's got a lot of blue with him. He's giving me the name Edward. And I normally don't get names with my gifts. I don't know who he is. It could be for somebody out there watching. I have no clue. Yeah. He just come real quick.
Yeah.
So my
They know that you're,
they know I'm
no,
talking.
yeah. They
Yeah.
know you're talking. Exactly. They know you're talking. So they're
They're
just
like,
like, hey, want to say hello.
yeah. So whoever's connected to an Edward, he's got dark hair, mustache, and he's got a lot of dark blue with him. Dark blue.
If you know who this Edward is, anybody out there, please by all means do us the favor, send a comment and send me an email or something, but definitely send a comment on whatever platform that you're watching and tell us who it is,
He's giving me the
because
number 46. Thank you.
y'all
He's
catch
giving me
that.
the number
Write it down.
46. So I don't know if that could be a birth year, it could be his
Yeah.
age, or it could be part of an address. But he's associating
Fantastic.
the number 46. So if it's Edward with 46 and he likes blue. It's like a nice deep blue. Yeah, he likes it. He's slender
That's
and
okay.
tall.
Nice.
Like, about 6'1" and a slender build, not broad, slender. Yeah. And he's fast paced. He's fast paced. Yeah. He wasn't a slow walker. He was a fast walker. Yeah.
Nice.
So he's
I
coming to say hi to somebody. I don't know who he is, but as I was telling you about the different frequencies in the channel of the elevator, that's when he come in like, hi. Yeah. So that's how it works.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad that people are able to see this, and I really do hope that this does reach somebody. So again, Edward, hello. thanks for coming on Beyond the Frequency. You're
And
a
going
guest
beyond the
too,
senses.
and going beyond the senses. Amazing. So Dina, I want to also so now that you're just kind of open right now to everything outside of our regular physical senses, let's talk about what a lot of people in this I want to say realm, in this community of awakened people, they talk about the change. Things are changing. What's coming? 2025 is around the corner, then 2026. Can you talk a little bit about what are you sensing? What can you tell us? Go for it.
Well, basically, what's happening now is the Earth is transitioning. We're going from 3D to 5D. We are leaving the Piscean age. We are exiting the Piscean age and entering the Aquarian age. So we're changing. I think I said it right. Yeah. Or did I say it backwards? It's funny because like literally all the information's here. We're exiting the Piscean age and enter the Aquarian. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So
Yeah,
when
I think it's right.
that happens every 6,000 years.
Mm.
So when nobody's been alive for the change that's occurring. Now let's put it into a little bit more physical for those that want to say, well, let's, kind of confirm and solidify. Well, the Schumann resonance chart, it monitors the Earth's heartbeat. It's been doing that since the 80s. And the Earth's heartbeat used to be around 7.92, and it's been way up to over 190. So they don't know why it's happening. So it's being monitored. If you look at the Earth and the weather, you can see in the past so many years, the energy outside is different as well as the weather is different. You now have people talking about the chemtrails. You now have people talking about, the ionosphere with the Project Blue Beam and, stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this shift. In order to, let's connect it more. You have 3G towers, cell towers. They turned them off. They're all 5G now. Why would we be 3D beings living in a 5G world? 5G is ground, 5th generation. 3D is third dimension. We really need to be 5D, fifth dimension, to live in a 5G world.
That makes sense. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I retired from Verizon, so I got telecommunications background. So if you have, if they turn the 3G towers off, it would just make sense that they upgraded to 5G. Well, why shouldn't we upgrade our consciousness to 5D? So it's kind of like a Twinkie. Your mind takes a couple steps and then your body catches. Well, it's like school. Your mind takes the test and then you pass the grade physically. So that's what's happening right now. A lot of intuitives or people are attuning to their gifts, like what's going on. Well, this is why the Earth's frequency is increasing. We are electromagnetic beings, so you're not going to be able to increase all at once. We would explode like going into an electrical outlet. So we have to get the upgrades intermittently. So that's why people will hear about the 1111 gateway portal. 11.1 started it and it's going to 11.11. Well, these intense energies that are flooding the earth right now, everybody is getting. You probably got a lot of ghost pains, which are really ascension symptoms. That's because dormant DNA in your body is now awakening. Back in the 50s, they said we only used 5% of the DNA. The other 95% was just dormant DNA. That dormant DNA is awakening right now with the way the Earth's frequency is upgrading. The intense energies are flooding in light codes for our DNA to awaken. For the crystalline, we're going to cellular crystalline bodies, which will get you to crystalline Christ consciousness, which is what's stated in the religion. So I tell people, take what resonates, but in everything I've just said, we just connected quantum physics, metaphysics, spirituality, religion, and physical. So you can take how you want and research it, but trust me, I've been researching every angle because I want to know why I'm different. That's what started it. So I did research on the brain. So the past 6 years, I've done a lot of research done tons of different aspects and hyperlinks. I got everything written down. And it's on metaphysics, quantum physics, spirituality, how it connects to the body, and what's happening in the world. We can't change what's happening out there, but there has to be a way for us to join the wave. When they say there's levels to this, that's because it's consciousness levels. You got to be conscious of the subconscious programming, and then you can break free from the matrix.
I love that. Wow, that's a lot to take in, but I mean, again, we can always rewind back. It's a lot of good information, and what I do like, I like that explanation about the whole. They turn off the 3G, they turn on 5G. So why wouldn't we upgrade too?
Now, and when you put it like that, it kind of makes you realize, like, oh, okay, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're using 5G cell phones, but our mental is only capped. After school and college, what do you learn? You only learn the field that you're in. And that's
Yeah.
just nature. Look at lifing, that's just how life goes. But we have to teach ourselves and help each other. So every day we're teachers and students. We're learning as we teach. And that's the benefit of having a plethora of people, especially if you're connected in some consciousness way to be able, it's funny when I was given the information, I don't know which one of my guys comes through. He just gets I say he, so I guess it's a he, gets real excited and he likes to explain all this. So I just want you to know, he says, thank you. Sorry if I'm going too fast. I'm just excited to paint the picture to enable somebody to have clarity through confusion.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I don't know who he is, but he's one of that's why I say the nerd. Let's just call him the nerd.
Yeah.
Coming through.
The nerd. I like him. I like the nerd. Hey, nerd, if you can hear me, I appreciate that. I think a lot of people do appreciate that. We'll take it.
It's pretty cool. So,
what about, I wonder if, so when you talk about astral projection,
yeah.
where have you gone? What's one or two interesting experiences or places that you've gone, that a lot of people aren't aware of? If you can just enlighten us.
Well, there's times that if I don't put my protection up, I've found myself it's like I don't know if it's an old Western, but in the era of like Annie, little orphan Annie, and the little
Yeah.
orphans get out and it's busy in the streets, but you real little. So I guess we about like 5 or 6 because it's horses. There's no cars, and I have to help the girls. So it's like 3 girls that every time I go to there, I end up helping them. So I don't know what I'm helping them with. I just know that it's like, you ever watch the movie back in the 80s called Quantum Leap?
Yeah, I love Quantum Leap. Yeah.
So you know how he will go to sleep and then he just wakes up somewhere?
Yes.
That's what happens. So if I don't put
Mm.
certain protections up when I go to sleep, I just wake up somewhere. And then I
Wow.
gotta do what I gotta do there. Like you can't just
To come back.
Yeah. So you gotta
Oh my gosh.
it's funny, in the past 4 years I've had clients witness different upgrades in my gift. I call them breakthroughs. And one night, my clients from Pennsylvania had come down, 2 of them. And when I woke up the next day, I had marks on my back. And I was doing some battling in my sleep. I was learning different protection rings and how to put them up. There has been nights that, depending on who needs help, I don't know who it is, it's almost like some of us will stand at a perimeter and they can't come through the perimeter. And you don't got to do nothing but stand there. They might try to like hit the bubble, but it's not going to work. But we still have to sustain the bubble. So sometimes, you might wake up like extra tired and you slept 8 hours. Well, that's probably because you was doing some work in your sleep, because your human is sleeping. You got to go to do your work. Your soul just goes. So if you don't control where your soul's going, it's just going out there, and you could be out there battling or in a nightmare. If somebody's thinking about you and they're going to sleep, they're summoning your soul. So you might find yourself in somebody else's dream that don't got nothing to do with you. Because
I
you
hear
just went
that.
to sleep and you're out there. So a lot of times it's really good, like your house. You got your house, you're good, but you lock your doors.
Yeah.
So when you go to sleep, you're good. Just put your protection up. So they always say, you say your prayers when you go to bed.
Right.
That's a lot of times why.
Yeah, it is. I'm kind of interested when you were talking about the whole like quantum leap scenario. There's a lot of movies out there, like like Stargate and things like that, that just they presented Hollywood presents this to us as, oh, this is just entertainment. But I feel like, from what I've also heard, is a lot of these directors or whatever the case is, they are aware of some of these stories, and maybe they don't believe it fully. Some of them probably do, but let's say they don't really believe that it's fully true, and they're like, it's still an interesting idea to make this into a movie. It's
one
so
thing about it is,
fascinating.
like, they got to tell you what they're doing.
Yeah. Do they?
So what better way to tell you than in a movie? So that way, if it really happens, you'll be questioning if it's real or not.
Chaos. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Confusion
and chaos. So they already planted it. So that's why back in the 80s, you had Quantum Leap. You also had Ghost Whisperer. Yeah, Touched by an Angel. You know, you have Charmed. You know, so those movies aren't just somebody writing the storyline. No, they writing it because they got to somehow indirectly tell you what they're doing. Why? Quantum physics, the law of karma. What you put out, you're going to get back. So if you don't warn somebody, like right now, they're poisoning the foods, right? And if you don't read the back and it says contains bioengineered ingredients, they're telling you there's chemicals in this you shouldn't eat. If you buy it and eat it, that's your fault. So see how the negative sees it? That's karma, but they're playing the game correctly. That's karma.
Wait, so a lot of the labels say that is bioengineered chemicals.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I've told so many people. Yeah, like I got something right here. I got like a spinach artichoke dip. Yeah, you gotta stand there before you buy it. I don't want to go into that, but anyway, because I was about to say something, but no, we're not gonna do that. So like this, it contains, egg, milk, whatever. It don't say bioengineered. Under the ingredients of anything, I don't care if it's chips. Here's the bag, because these are my organic chips. Under the ingredients, it don't say nothing about bioengineered.
Okay.
If it's something you should not eat, it'll say contains bioengineered chemicals or ingredients.
Oh man.
If it says that, there is something in there that your body cannot digest.
Oh. Okay,
now,
I did not know that.
Means is if you have something wrong with you, whatever that chemical is, it's going to go to that problem area and make it worse. But you don't know that, so now you're going to think like, oh, I ate that and I was. You're not even going to blame the chemical you put in your body. You're going to blame something else because you didn't know to read the back where it says contains I went to buy, I'm not going to say the brand. I went to buy some like, almost like a chicken soup. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, common brand. So I pick it up and I turn around to the back and I was like, son of a biscuit, contains bioengineered. I'm not doing it. No. What's the point of buying all these vegetables to now buy something to add to the vegetables and it's got chemicals in it? That defeated your whole purpose.
Right.
So we got to educate each other. I've turned a lot of people that I work with, I've let them know, and people are starting to see more and more. You'll see changes in your body. You'll see that you're able to process things. You'll see that the whole thing is they want us to be weighed down, which is your bottom chakras. That energy level, again, frequency, keeps you in the Eeyore state. The lazy, ho-hum-de-dum. I guess it'll be a good day today. Why?
Right.
If you eat those foods, ready? Now we're going to go further. He's coming back. So when you eat these foods and you sit in front of the TV, the phrase couch potato, right? Yeah, that's because you're watching the TV, which is programmed on 440 hertz frequency. When you're watching that, that's a hypnotic frequency. Now you become mesmerized at the T-E-L-E, which is communication, lies, vision, see. So you're in front of a vision of lies, and you're programmed. So somebody's saying, hey, do you want some water? And you're standing there staring. Why? Because you're a couch potato mesmerized to the TV. Now, why did you get that way? Because you just ate a bunch of bioengineered ingredients you didn't know about, and you don't feel like getting off the couch.
Right. I've had that. I've had when I've ate something and you had that feeling where you're like, man, I shouldn't have ate that. Like, it was good, but man, I feel really, really bad. Now I have to check everything in my pantry and everything in my fridge. Thank you for that, though.
Yeah, you're welcome. You got to like when you're buying fruits and vegetables, you don't want to buy the ones that say appeal.
Appeal.
Yeah, because that's got bioengineered ingredients from Bill Gates.
Oh, like appeal, like
APEAO.
Oh.
If it says that on a sticker on the item, do not eat it, because what's happened is they've injected chemicals into these items, so the inside of the fruits are rotten and the outsides look beautiful. That's why so many people had that thing on about the watermelons exploding.
Yeah.
Well, there's your Bill Gates appeal. Yeah.
Why are they doing that? Do you know?
Huh?
Why are they doing that?
Well, you can't make sense of a negative mindset, so I wouldn't ask why.
Oh, yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Why did he also buy so much farmland?
I don't know.
He bought over 600,000 acres.
Just recently?
within the past 3 years, yes. And every acre that he's bought, if you look at the region, there's a water supply agriculturally under it.
For him, huh?
I don't know. We can only speculate, but I'm just saying, ...
Yeah.
It's good to be
That's
alert
interesting.
of little things like this. So that
Yeah.
way, you can take what resonates and what works best for you and your family. But it's good to be, at least alert and aware of it. I wouldn't delve in because you can't control what they do, but at least you're alert of it. And when you go to the store, you're not going to buy a peel because you're going to waste your money. And right now, groceries are expensive, and you're also going to eat something that's not healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen. Good.
Oh, I was just gonna say it sounds like population control right there.
I mean, we're slaves.
Yeah.
We're controlled slaves. You pay to a world that you were born in. Makes no sense.
Yeah. And that's weird. I thought that I thought that we were like cattle, like humans are like cattle and everything. Like if you're looking at when you're looking at the perspective of like people tell you, like why do aliens abduct people and things like that. I'm thinking like it's the same reason that we take an animal from its wildlife, from its habitat, and we tag it, and then we set it back out to the wildlife just to see what it does, see how it acts around its people, whatever the case is. I just think that we're being tagged and watched and probed and probbed and like watching TV or something. We're entertaining.
It's funny that you brought up meat. The strongest animals don't eat meat. Gorillas, giraffes, bulls, rhinoceros.
Ooh, why is that?
They don't eat meat. When have you seen them eat meat? They eat veggies, right?
Yeah,
They eat
yeah.
strong elephants. They don't eat meat. They the strongest
Oh,
and longest living. Why do we eat meat?
interesting.
Why are we eating meat? You see how it's weighing us down?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just
Because like,
saying, food for thought.
no, food for thought. No, that makes sense because like, like if let's say there was no civilization and we lived out in the jungle somewhere, how rare is it that we're always going to have meat? We have the forest is going to provide us with everything that we need for our body when it comes to healing, nourishment, things like that. And then if we get lucky, maybe we'll go out and we'll grab like a hog or something like that. But yeah, and now meat's everywhere in every store. People got it stocked in the fridge. You got the people that love to grill. They got meat stocked in the. Everyone has a good time, but once they eat meat, everyone's like, oh,
weighed down. Now,
I'm weighed down.
Now you're eating the meat, right? You, quote unquote, not you specifically.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
eating meat, but whatever that meat was at one point, what was the diet of that meat? What vaccines did that meat get? Because whatever that meat got, you're now eating.
We now have it. Oh, man.
See, we don't look at things like that. Now, let's take it a step further. I told you, we talked earlier about how they got to tell their karma, right? They got to tell us, right? So that's what we're speaking on. Well, look at Popeye. Popeye always beat Brutus because Brutus ate the burgers and it weighed him down. Popeye ate spinach. That's because spinach is your green chakra. It also gives you energy. Popeye beat him because he didn't eat meat.
Yeah. I was wondering even just on that alone, why out of all foods that they could have given him as his power, spinach was just it. I don't know what the message was then, but
well, it's a leafy vegetable, and that's what the animals we just talked about. They eat leaves. You just said the forest. So they depict it as, of course, spinach, and spinach is high in iron.
Yeah.
So iron is an element for your body. It's not a vitamin; it's an element. It's on the periodic table.
Oh man.
I'm wondering. So when you look at things like that, and you connect like even more, like. So now you be observant of the meat that you're eating. Now, when you go to the store, it'll tell you if some of the cheese has the COVID vaccine from it, from a cow.
How do you know?
It'll tell you on there. It'll say like, it's like 3 different acronyms, almost like it reminds me of ADHD, but it's not ADHD.
Okay.
And
I'll look
tells
for
you
it.
right from the front. Like
Okay.
this product contains milk from a cow or whatever that had that, vaccine or whatever.
Dang. I am learning something new today.
And I was
So,
like, oh, good golly, they say this now? I mean, I'm glad they do, but let me tell you,
yeah.
I had to stand there and read through every one of them to find one that didn't.
So to make sure that I understand the karma situation, they have to tell you what they're doing to you so it doesn't come back to them.
Yeah, which is let's talk. I know when you did your podcast the other day, you was talking about the Mandela effect and timelines and stuff. So let's take it a step further. They got to tell you, which is also why they talk of the Simpsons. The Simpsons has always been, is it a time traveler telling us, or is it them telling us what they're about to do? Because after all, nobody's believing it anyway. It could be
Right.
one or the other. So you could look at it from, let's say, ride down the street one way, go to the end, turn around and come back. Same street, different side, different perspective.
Love that example. Love that example. Yeah, you're right. Same street. So now I'm thinking, like other folks that are listening to this, I walk down my street one way, and then when I come back, it is a different perspective. Same street, it looks a little different.
Yep. Opposite side, same street, different aspect. So when you see things like that, you can see like, okay, is the Simpsons them, quote unquote, the bad people, let's say, elites, trying to tell on themselves and seeing who believes it and who don't? Or is it really a time traveler, trying to give us, message? I mean, you can kind of take it for what it's worth. Just know that they control the media. So I don't really see the time traveler getting through too much information.
Yeah. I
You
don't
look at
think the time
logically,
travel. Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, they've been doing it for years in Hollywood, like we talked about. They put it out there. Like, for example, recently I thought about it. They had the movie called Civil War. And it's basically about just the country just, fighting within each other. They cut off communication, they cut off connection with the outside world, and there were like three other things. They had like planes flying over the country, dropping flyers saying that Japan is invading us, but because the communication was cut off, there was no way to verify that. So I'm thinking, why would you put a movie out there in like this was like last year, that in the time that people are still chaotic and confused and not feeling, like safe about what's going on, why would you put a movie out there? For what purpose? And I feel like they were just putting out it to see if anybody's gonna flinch. What are you gonna do? You believe in that?
It could be like where it's a take heed message.
A what?
Take heed.
Oh, take heed. So like
If this
be
happens, you know
warned.
you'll know how to maneuver. It's like playing chess and not checkers. So you might remember a triggered memory, like, oh, I remember this in a movie and he did it this way, and let me do it that way. So it could be something like that. One thing, like when I closed my eyes, how we had mentioned, you remember the show Mork and Mindy?
Yeah.
So how when they went in the room and then he would go to the window and looking out the window, it was outer space, right?
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Really?
Yeah. So then I go through there and then I can go wherever avenue I need to. I just move the DVD or the Rolodex or just move the slide to the movie and it just moves.
Love it. I'm so glad that you're able to explain it, because obviously we can't see what you see, so it's kind of hard to like experience that. So I appreciate that.
And
how often you can't draw?
No, so I could never draw you. You know how like somebody can draw like police sketches?
Yeah.
I could never draw to show anybody. I just scribble.
Yeah. I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool. I wonder, how do you, when it comes to channeling or seeing these energy beings, do you see mostly human spirits, or do you see also extraterrestrials?
Well, I mean, I guess you could say some of them could be what some humans would say extraterrestrials. I connect with the Pleiadians, so I just see my soul family. I don't see color in the human world. I don't know. I just talk to them. But the Pleiadians, they're going to be one of the first to make contact with us, and probably 2026 to 2027.
Okay.
The Pleiadians will be one of the first groups. So I don't know if that's why I'm so connected with them. But yeah, I see them, and that's when I'm in my research and meditations and asking my elders what they want me to do next. And so that's up to them with that. If I'm in a reading with a group setting, I'm live or anything, then I'm going to get the gate will open and the gate will be up and they all here. So like right now with us, even though it's just us in this Wi-Fi frequency connection, there's 9 to my right and about 15 to my left.
Are there any here in my office by chance?
And your office, let me see if I can scan it. So let me ask you a question so I can check the frequency. I've never been where you're at right now, correct?
Correct.
We're in 2 different states, correct?
We are.
Okay. So with that being said, where you're sitting, is there a door? Wait, what you say? Let's rewind. Where you're sitting, there would be a wall in front of you, correct?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Which means now there's a wall to your left, correct?
Correct.
So the wall that is to your right, right? If you go to that wall and go back, is there a door back there? A doorway or a windowway?
There is one right back. Right back this way. Yes, right behind me there is a door. Yes.
Okay. Where you're sitting right now, if you look to your right on the wall, do you have don't go into detail. Do you have a picture or a mirror hanging on this wall in front of you to your right?
I have a picture, yes.
Okay. Because I see a frame. I just can't tell what's in the frame, if it was a picture or a mirror.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you what it is or?
Not yet.
Okay.
Does the picture have 4 people in it?
This one, no, it does not.
So don't go. Are you at a desk?
Yes.
Is the desk more cluttered to your left?
It is.
Okay. So they're in your head and they're scanning the room.
They're scanning the room?
No, I went in their head and scanned the room.
Nice.
So,
The Pleiadians.
huh?
I'm sorry. I was going to ask the Pleiadians, like, can you describe, because I mean, I'm sure a lot of folks don't know what Pleiadian is. I know what a Pleiadian is, but can you describe what one may look like or the ones that you're seeing?
Yeah, they tall. We short as humans, but they tall. Yeah, some are like 7 foot, 6, 7 or so, maybe taller. And we're primarily blue. We got a blue tone. A lot of us females have blonde hair. The Pleiadians.
Kind of clothes do they wear, and do they wear clothes?
I don't know. I just see like a silvery, whitish type, like I don't know what it is. I don't know what you call it. I mean, I don't want to say a jacket because it's not a jacket.
Maybe a robe or something? No.
So how some people wear like them half sweaters?
Yeah, the half sweaters, yeah.
You could say it's almost like maybe a short sleeve. Okay, look. So you remember the movie back in the 80s, V?
Yes.
You remember what some of them people had on with the red and silver outfits?
Yeah, I do.
So it's kind of like that, but it's silver and white.
Okay. All right.
So
All
I
right. That's
can't
easy.
really say like it's a jacket, it's a shirt. I don't know how to tell you it is.
Right, right. No, I don't. Yeah, because I know, like, there's certain things I'm sure that are not from Earth that we may not have like an actual description for. So you're doing your best, and I do appreciate that, and I do recognize that they are tall. I mean, with
Yay.
they're tall being. That's a normal thing for them.
Yeah, and I told him I'm vertically challenged, so I don't know how I got stuck with that. But normally coming to Earth to do a job, you are given the opposite to see if
Yeah,
you can do the challenge. But it's because when you come, I say, yeah, I can do it, and they say, okay, and boop, boop, I'm here.
I love it. I
So
love it.
that's how it works. Ah, quite
Yeah,
good.
and do you I wonder if do you well, first of all, some folks may be wondering, do you do this all day, or I mean, you have a normal job and everything, so but do you also do this for people at work, just at random in the streets, like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I
yeah,
don't
like,
turn
I
my gifts
mean,
off. My gift is all day, every day. So like no
okay.
matter where I'm at and no matter what time of day, if somebody messages me and they want a reading, um,
Um,
then I just do a reading. If I'm at work, I'd read whoever if I got a message to give them or if they ask me. But
yeah.
most of the time I'm trying to work, so they don't really be like, hey. One lady said, I think it's weird what you can do. I said, oh, really? She said, yeah. I said, well, I think it's weird you can't. So, like,
So,
because I just thought, like, that's not so very nice to say that to me. I don't know what
yeah.
your perception is, but you don't know how I feel. And I'm adjusting to being so
Mm,
different in this crazy world as it is. But then,
right,
some people say, are being single, is it a blessing or a curse? And
right.
I tell people, like, no, I'm single because I can go right in the mind and I'm going to tell if you're lying, and
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
that's
play
gotta be
with
tough.
it. Yeah, so I did, but God's not just gonna put any guy around me, and they got
Yeah.
to be able to handle my gifts.
Yeah, that's gotta be wow. I didn't even think about that when it comes to relationship. That's wild. Like,
So
how do you deal with that? Oh man, I
it's different,
yeah, it's
guys will
different.
come in my inbox like, "Hey," and I just, some of them, if I don't know, I just be looking
Yeah,
at them like, I talk to dead
yeah.
people, and
I see
sometimes
that
I'm
too.
like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Sixth Sense, Ghost Whisper," which kind of
Yeah,
brings
all
me
that
to
good stuff.
the other part of your question when you said like, do I turn it off? Like, no. Dunkin' Donuts is one of my favorite. That's why I be sipping on my Dunkin'. But Dunkin', every Dunkin' that I go to, yeah, they know who I am because I go in there and I read them. But just
That's
it just
awesome.
happens. Like when I go in, I
Yeah,
didn't plan on like, oh, I'm gonna get in here and read somebody. No, no.
right.
I just go in normal, you order your coffee or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm in the drive through the one day and the one girl's there and I'm telling the boy, like, no, we're not doing this. I'm just getting my coffee. And he's like, no, you're going to tell her. That's my sister. And I'm like, no, chill out. And next thing you know, he like jumps through, like, woo. And she comes to the window simultaneous and she's like, are you a medium? And I was like, you have a little brother.
What? How
Simultaneous.
does she sense that?
I don't
She
know.
just
And I
did.
just
She just
looked
did.
at her
Yeah.
and I was like, she goes, yeah. And I'm like, thank you, because he's here and he's driving me crazy. And he wants you
That's
to know
wild.
he's here. And she's like, her little brother had passed and he was about
Yeah.
six-ish. And oh yeah, he was definitely here. So, and that's just kind of random. The
Mhm.
crazy thing is when I gotta give a message, the learning part is how to tell somebody. You walking
Mm.
up to a stranger saying, I got a message for you.
Right. They're like, whoa, what kind of what's going on here? Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's
Yeah. So that's
but
kind
have
of
you found a way? How do you approach that? Is it with humor or what?
the, it's kind of funny because like, how do you put it? Okay, so like, if I see somebody and I gotta tell them, um, it really just depends. Sometimes I'll just straight because it's the energy that's coming through. So here,
Yeah.
I was at a different Dunkin', and this
Mm, mhm.
specific Dunkin', I had to go in. So, which
Yeah.
I try not to do. That's the first rule. I try not to go too many places, so I don't got to tell people.
Right.
So Next thing you know, I do the order, and I'm near one of the universities here. So I knew it was a good college kid. And I said, I got to go potty. I'll be right back. He says, okay. So I'm in the potty, and his grandfather came. And I'm like, are you
No.
serious? Like, no. And please, I'm in the potty. And he was like, but I want you to tell my grandson. And I said, "Baby, we'll make a deal. When I get done in the potty and washing my hands and go out, if nobody's in the lobby, then I'll talk. But if
Yeah.
somebody's in the lobby, I'm not saying nothing. I'm getting my coffee and I'm leaving." And he's like, fair. And I was like, cool. Can you go away so I can finish? So I do my potty and I wash my hands and I'm like, okay, we're going to go outside. So I no sooner stepped out the door and the lobby was dead empty. And he's like, I told you to tell him. And I was like, son of a biscuit. So yeah, I had to tell the kids. So now I got this teenage kid, right? College age. And it's a
Yeah.
guy. So that's already the first cue where it's going to be hard. And I said, you got a test coming up at school, right? And you're really stressing over it, right? And he's looking at me, he's like, yeah. And I said, you've been stressing over that car too. I know it's been giving you problems, but you're gonna get that new car that you've been thinking about. Just don't put too much thought, let it roll. And he looked at me and I said, well, did your grandfather pass and were you guys close? And he said, yes, like recent. And I said, well, he wants me to tell you that these two items that's on your mind, he's got you, and just chill. You're going to be fine. The boy just started crying.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't, but I had to tell him. And of course, most of the time, like I'll get my chills, they'll get their chills. And then I kind of make humor to it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then kind of
Yeah.
leave like, the crazy blonde. And I'm like, that's okay. You can think I'm crazy. Because if you're normal, I don't want to be normal. So I just
Right.
kind of like leave it at that. But yeah, it's sometimes quite hard to tell people. But I'll just get to the point where I'm not saying nothing mean. So if I'm going to know whether or not I can tell them.
Yeah.
If their frequency is not there, I'm not going to tell them because their angel's not going to be there to tell them. They're not on the frequency. If
What
you're
a
on the right
beautiful thing.
frequency, I'll be able to give them and the message. Just like you notice the few times we talked, and the second time we get more messages. So as you clear your subconscious blocks and raise your frequency, you get more messages. So I have monthly clients, and what you get on week 3, you're probably not going to get on week 1 because you weren't attuned and cleared to get it. So when it comes to the psychism part of my gift, the psychic aspect, I tell people it's not a golden ticket. You got to put the work in. They'll give you target dates, things to look forward to. So that way, okay, if I reach this level of frequency, I'll then receive some sort of blessing, that could be around this time frame. Now, that's enabling you to put the work in. It's like you go to the gym, you're not going to get healthy if you look at the equipment. You got to put the work in. So you got to give yourself 30 days. 30 days makes or breaks a habit. 15 days will tell you. But 30 is 30 days free. Why? Because 30 days, you're either going to keep it or forget it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So 30 days makes or breaks a habit. Scientifically proven. Anything I'm saying, people can Google. So then what you do at that point is you invest in yourself. You use your frequencies when you're sleeping. Whenever you get that subconscious negative thought, I remove it. Some people say, well, my papa died. I'm so sad. I get it, sweetie. I get it. But you're never going to talk to him if you keep doing that. You got to pop off that grief frequency and say, you know what? I don't like it, but I'm going to accept it because he's over here and I can talk to him over here.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Wow. That's amazing. I want to touch base on the fact that you would go in and you would relay these messages to these people that weren't even expecting it. But what a beautiful thing, Dina, because that person needed it. There's a lot of people go to work and, especially customer service, and they're out there, trying their best, even if they have a bad day, they're trying to service, they're trying to be, the whole customer is right and things like that. But for you to come in and give them a service like that and just tell them like, hey, everything's going to be all right. I mean, if somebody were to tell me that just out of the blue, I would be like, wow, Thank you.
It's been quite fun. I've done it. Yeah, I do it all the time. One person was like, "Hey, let's go to the mall so you can like do it there." And I'm like, "Well, that's all well and good, but I'm not videoing because as you can tell, most of the time I'm closing my eyes.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be able to do the technical aspect and do my gifts, you know? So like when when I help find the missing people, I do it with a volunteer because I got to give them the information he's given me. And then I got
Yeah.
to, and then you look at it and then you get the next part. So that's basically how mine works. You get it, you go to the next part. When I'm in public and I'm reading people, most of the time it's definitely a message that is needed. Sometimes it could be for clarity. Some people are gifted and they get crystals and they a lot of the teenagers is interested in some of this like moldavite. Moldavite was a big thing on TikTok a few years back. But you just can't have any crystal if you're not energy for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
So it's almost like an all around it's funny because I feel like I've literally went in a whole circle in this piece of the convo, the way they got me spinning.
No, that's okay. I can only imagine. Yeah. Everybody's excited. Everybody, the excitement part. I want to ask this, regarding the entities and energies that are around you. They're always talking to you. Is that telling me that these energies, they all have their own, like us, their own moods, their own, feelings? Do they feel? Are they? Because excitement is a feeling, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
does
when
that make sense?
in the I'm only in the positive realm. So when you in the positive realm and in the higher frequencies, love is the highest frequency. So when you in that frequency, everything is nice, it's blissful, it's harmonic. You know, you don't do no negative stuff. You don't got no disrespect. You don't say mean things. You don't have negative intentions. You just do the right thing because right is right and wrong is wrong, and God's watching. So, um. I don't get negative feels. The only time I get any negative feels is if somebody is coming in me and I gotta relive how they left. So,
Okay.
but that's
Okay.
not really negative. That's just me reliving their trauma that was documented, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah. That
more of
makes
a
sense.
distinctive. So when the angels come, I tell them, you got to give me 3 distinctives so that way the person I'm communicating to knows it's for them because I don't know who they are probably. So,
Right.
um, is one of them where you I don't know why this has come about. So, wait a minute.
Interesting.
Okay, there's a male coming through around you, and he's
Around me.
showing me, you know, the dartboards that had like the Velcro balls?
Yeah.
He's showing me that, and he's showing me a soccer ball. Are you familiar with this with any of your friends? But I don't feel it's a direct friend of you. I feel like it is an offspring of somebody you're connected to.
An offspring, somebody
So
connected
that could be
to.
like somebody's brother, somebody's son, somebody's, it could be like, let's say you have a best friend neighbor or a friend that's a neighbor and y'all might get together and watch the games every so often. Maybe it's somebody like his son or something. Do those two
Right.
distinctives ring a bell for somebody?
Not for me, immediately, but I mean, again, there's these signals, these visions that you get could be connected, you know, connected to me in some sense, but it may not hit me immediately. I'm sure it might hit me at some point once I kind
Does
of
your
think about
son
it.
play soccer?
He wants to play soccer.
Yeah. Have you ever had one of those like Velcro dartboards or a dartboard? You know what I'm talking about? Like the little kid play ones?
Um, I thought I did. I don't remember. It was a couple of years ago. I don't
I
remember if
think
it
you
was
did. This is your
yeah.
grandfather. He's being very direct. Your
Oh,
grandfather
this is my
passed.
yeah, a while back when I was like, in my teens or something like that.
Yeah, this is your grandfather. He's telling me to tell you it's your grandfather.
Oh, hey, granddad.
So
On my mom's side or dad's side, do we know?
your mom,
Okay, yeah, it would be him. Yeah, absolutely.
your mom's side, he's saying.
Interesting.
He's giving you blue. That's your throat chakra. Throat chakra
Mm-hmm.
is giving you clarity through confusion. It also controls your respiratory system. Focus on your breath work. When you focus on your breath work, kind of like a pregnant lady in labor, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
realize that the cells in your body react. They're going to chill you out and calm you down, enabling you to pop on another frequency to get the
Mm.
information you need.
Okay, he's telling me to just breathe, right? Breathe well, breathe deep and heavy, and clear myself. Is that while I'm meditating, just any time?
Well, it's funny because, like, I meditate all day.
Mm.
When you get that 5 second, where you just kind of go off and daydream or, whether
Yeah,
you're just sitting at the computer in your mind, that's meditation.
yeah.
You don't
When you're
gotta,
present.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't gotta like, people are like,
Yeah.
you got a crystal ball and you got this. I'm like, yeah, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't use it. I mean, I use it, but I don't use it for that. Like
Sure.
we in society, we have been told to manifest already. If you notice, everything people are living now, they manifested a year ago. You're
Yeah.
been taught to manifest the opposite, meaning, oh my gosh, I'm gonna not pay my bills. Oh my gosh, it's bad health. Well, you're
Mm.
manifesting. So then what
Yes.
happens? You're gonna say, see, I told you. Well, see, I told you, you manifested it. So
Yeah.
now consciously flip the script. If you
Mm.
flip the script and tell yourself, we're not doing that today, I remove all negative thoughts. Now you're forced telling the cells in the body only positive thoughts. You're now unlearning to relearn.
I love that. What a great message. Yeah. Because, if you get like some people who, let's say they get their mail and they're afraid of like the bills, right? And they're like, oh, it's this one bill. It's this one bill. And I hope it's not this one bill. But the fact that they're consciously thinking about it, they open it up and guess what? It is that bill. And they're like, oh
Yeah.
man,
I knew it.
that makes sense. Yeah.
You
Yeah. Oh my
manifested
gosh.
everything. So, and
Mm,
then look at it this way. Some people throw that bill to the side, which means they're trying to run from the problem. The
mm.
problem ain't never going to go away. You got to face it.
Gotta face it.
So when
Gotta
you're
pay that
doing
bill.
shadow work to raise your
Mm,
frequency and purging the past, everybody,
mm.
I tell people, they say, is it done? No. Ascension is ongoing. You got to hold the frequency for this shift of the earth to occur. See, we're back to
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all your
And
things.
by the way, I wanted to tell you when you and I first met a couple of days ago. And again, just so folks know that don't have a podcast, whenever I look for guests, I like to meet them first, just for like a pre-interview, make sure everything's cool and that we vibe well before we continue and do a show like this. So I definitely vibed well with Dina. She's awesome from the time that she said hello. I was like sold and everything.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody else that's hearing this, you're definitely touching them as well. So I appreciate that. But what I was saying was that in that time frame, my lower back was hurting, and it's just a constant like 2 week pain. And then the next day, the pain was still there, but it was subsiding. Like it wasn't as intense as it was in the last 2 weeks. And so I think it's been about what 3 or 4 days, no, a week or so that we probably have connected from the first time, and it's not fully gone, but I tell you what, it is like if 100% was the first day, it is down to like a 10% like feeling. So I don't know what this is, but I think you mentioned something about that. Do you absorb pain or something like that?
Yes, I can take people's pain. I do it all the
Interesting.
time with my daughter. And it's funny because the first time it happened was in 2012, and we were actually at a hospital. So I definitely was not trying to take her pain. I was
Mm,
being a mom and there with my daughter who was, in her early 20s, late teens, and I was just holding her toe, and letting her know I was in the room during the process and of the doctors with her. And next thing you know, everything came to me, and I slid down the wall and kind of fainted. So that's when all three doctors looked at me like it was no big deal. Oh, well, you just took her pain. So I thought they were joking. I really did. Come to find out, my daughter's like, she didn't have no pain. Like I had it
Yeah.
all. So since then, with me, I test my gifts. Like this is weird. So whenever I feel something coming on, I'll end up talking to one of my daughters, and 9 times out of 10, I'm taking it from one of them. I've noticed this year, more of the research that I do behind the scenes, I've learned quantum physics and I've learned alchemy. I'm an alchemist. So I can take your pain because I can transmute it and send it back. Now, in doing that, yes, I've been around the clock with some ibuprofen and stretches this week because my lower back's been killing me.
Oh,
So, and even the people at
sorry.
work are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's that lower back. I'll be good." So I'm glad you're feeling better. But I know, I know, and I can transmute it. So I can focus on that. Some people do Reiki. I do not do Reiki. You as a gifted, not you, quote unquote, you're
Mm,
not going to have all the senses.
mm,
There's always going to be something you don't got. And I don't have healing hands. I can cook, but I'm not a chef. I can grow
mm.
plants, but I'm not no florist.
Yeah.
I can, give you a massage and I'm good, but I'm not a masseuse. So I
Mm,
don't have healing hands. I can't touch you to heal you, but I am a numerology of 33, which is a master number. So I said,
uh-huh.
if I can't touch them to do it, I can transmute energy. So I learned how to transmute energy. In 1983, the CIA did a gateway experiment at Fort Meade under Colonel Wayne M. McDowell. And I was a subject in that experiment. So we
Mm.
could do everything but levitate. They
What?
classified the
Wow.
documents May 8th, 1983, and they declassified the documents in March of 2003. And they gave 20 years. So during that time frame, if you look at what the mind can do, you can rewind and do it opposite. The mind can be programmed.
Oh, absolutely.
Does that make
Yeah. Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, yeah, we're being brainwashed, every time we watch TV and news, maybe listening to the radio. I mean, I think when you mentioned about the 440 hertz, I know that I think it's prior to 1959 or something like that. It was
1953, Lenny
1953.
Kravitz, Bob Marley, and John Lennon were told they weren't allowed to program their music on a 432 frequency. It had to be
Hmm.
440 frequency, and that's what they used during the Nazi camp. But if you
Yes.
tune into Beethoven's Symphony 7, which is the first 3 minutes, you're actually going to get movement too, and that will help you let go of sorrow, pain, and sadness. It'll raise your frequency almost
Dang.
but it
There
has
you
to be
go.
the Beethoven Symphony 7 Movement 2.
There you go, guys. Write that down. Beautiful. Yeah, you definitely, I don't know if you were reading my mind or what, but I was going towards not as deep as that fact, but the whole 440 being now, and I think to today, it was a mandated frequency that even everything that's broadcasting today is at 440, right? So
That
you have a lot of
440.
DJs and musicians who are now taking the music and reconverting it back to 432 because they're aware, of it.
But
But
most of their music that they're converting, they're not playing on some of the platforms because they're already controlled by the 440. So let's give an example to those out there who might be skeptic. I like them
mm,
ones. They like to
yeah,
challenge. So I say, well, let's put it in human terms. Remember the
yeah,
whole Travis Scott concert, right? And everybody got injured not too long ago, right?
hmm,
Well, they say that in the back behind him, they actually had a kaleidoscope. You can't buy a kaleidoscope no more. Kind of funny, isn't it?
mm,
They used to have
yeah,
them back in the day with jacks and jump ropes and hula hoops. Can't buy no
yeah.
kaleidoscope no more. Yeah,
I
can't
haven't
find
seen
one.
one in years.
I have not found one in the past 7 years.
I'm gonna
I'm
have to go
talking
on
from a
Amazon and
Walmart
see.
to a Dollar General. I've been looking for a kaleidoscope. I'm not talking Amazon. I'm
Oh,
talking
okay.
old school go to
Yeah,
the
the retail
store
store. Yeah.
and buy you a jacks and a hula hoop and a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
You can't do it no more. So
Huh.
in behind him, he had that going. Now, mind you, that was a black and white yin and yang. And of course, it
Mm,
was a hypnotic swirl, like you walking in a Beetlejuice thing. Okay, cool.
mhm,
But
mm,
you had the people in the far back. When the trauma started, they said they were pulled to the front of the stage. The
mm,
human body, when the root chakra at your tailbone is in fight or flight mode, security and stability, then you're going to run away from the problem. You're not going to run to the problem. So you know that they had to have had something hypnotic playing at that concert for those people to have something chaotic break out at the front and everybody go to the front. Why
fuck,
didn't they
yeah.
leave the building? That's because some people even stated that were in the outskirts, they were feeling pulled. They had so much energy and momentum in that with that frequency. It
Mhm,
was almost like let's say the current of a wave. You can
yeah,
think you're going to beat it, but you can't beat it.
right. Wow. That's interesting. I've never heard that perspective of that situation, but it makes complete sense. I've heard all the complaints and the things that you were saying about people feeling this force, but I'm glad that you touched base on that too, though. There's
Yeah,
so
you
much
got.
stuff going
I
on.
wanted to get to the bottom of it. Like this don't make no sense. All these people got hurt, but think about it. When they showed the issue of the chaos, people
Mm,
weren't running out of the building like there was something going on. They were running to the stage where the problem was.
yeah,
Meanwhile, they still had the thing going behind him that was like swirling and all. So
yeah.
therefore, you had some people hypnotized and a trance being trampled. You see, now we're getting into the psychology.
Hmm.
We're getting into the
I'm,
brain waves, alpha, beta, delta, theta. I know them too.
yeah, yeah, the neuroscience and everything. I want to say, since you mentioned Travis Scott and he's a celebrity and whatnot, I was thinking about celebrities too. Is there anything mysterious you can tell us about celebrities? Like, I'm just gonna throw out some names like Kate Middleton, right? Princess Diana back in the day, her murder situation. Like, is there any current celebrities that people can relate to that you feel or know that there's something going on with them, and maybe give us a little bit details if you can sense something?
I mean, you're kind of getting into like a bigger aspect.
Okay,
The
if
best
you
thing that
can,
I would
that's fine.
say is
Yeah.
this. The best thing I would say is this.
Mm,
Um, you should be cautious because when you're dealing with modern music, okay, you're dealing with a common denominator of a celebrity, okay.
mhm,
What's happened is your brain waves, your alpha and your beta. That's your subconscious, and your conscious is your alpha, and your subconscious is your beta.
mhm,
What's happening is this 440 hertz. It's got your subconscious quiet and your subconscious quiet and excuse me. It has this part, which is your conscious, your alpha. It is lower. Your B, which is your beta, which is your subconscious, is higher. With those two being off balance, your conscious is supposed to filter through the negative and only take the positive or what resonates to the subconscious. When you're getting into a 440 hertz frequency, that is bypassing your conscious. So there's no filter, taking the information into the subconscious, your beta part, and embedding it. So now kids just think that that's what it's supposed to be because their subconscious has been lowered so it can't filter through the fault. Does that make
right.
better sense?
Yeah, yeah, it
Sorry, in the
does.
beginning I got confused, but
No,
that
you're
was
fine.
easier to explain. That's why you will have some 3-year-olds thinking it's okay to twerk, thinking it's
Mm,
okay to do something they heard, whether it's
right.
Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Travis Scott, I don't care what
Whoever. Yeah.
celebrity that is on mainstream radio. I just mentioned
Yeah.
mainstream radio, right? So any
Yep.
of these, you know that if they have a chorus to a song, it's repetitive, right? So some people will be like, met back in the day, pop goes the weasel. Man, now I got that jingle in my head, right?
Hmm.
Or, run
Yep.
for the border or have it
Yeah.
your way. You got
Yeah.
those little little jingles because it's bypassing the conscious, going right to the subconscious.
Yeah.
So when
I
you're
hate
listening
jingles.
to music like that, I tell people be really cautious on what lyrics are coming through. Not to say like you can't listen to, the profanity and the tempt. I'm not saying that.
Right.
What I'm
Mm.
saying is listen to it to where you're not a part of the song.
Mm.
Because the minute you're on that frequency, right, it's just like going into a haunted house and walking out. You're going to take whatever's on that frequency.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now
So
you're
wait, so you're saying,
good.
like, let's say with, I guess with the haunted house deal, right? So you go in there, you're just in this fear, erratic, situation because you're just being frightened all over the place. And then when you walk out, when you say you take away the frequency that was in there, was you take away that fear. Now you're just scared over, the whole entire night. You got nightmares. Is that what you mean by taking away?
No, what I mean is, depending on the entity that's in there, they're going to jump on your back and they're going to ride on out with you
Oh,
because you just gave them a free ticket.
oh, okay. I got you.
So now Casper's brothers are now haunting you instead of the haunted house because they
Oh,
saw that they
man.
could jump on your back because you was a gullible mortal.
Gotcha. Ooh,
And that's one thing I tell, like, we really got opposite of Halloween. People talk about Ouija boards and all, they not good, but neither are haunted houses. So now people want to
mm,
bash. This is one thing that kind of kills me with society and programming.
mm.
People don't argue over the word devil or Satan, but they argue over God. They argue
Yeah.
over what to mean God is.
Yeah. What's up with that? I,
But the funny thing is, no matter what religion and what you call this name, because we speak different languages, we're all talking about the same higher power.
right.
Okay, we just want to argue over the name of it. Come on now,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like wow, they taken me onto another realm, another
Yeah.
and I'm about to ramble. So I'm like, no, hold on.
Well, why, talk to me about that. Why do they take you to a different realm and why do they feel like they need to
It's more
take you somewhere?
information.
Okay.
What it was, some people call it like a tangent, and it might not have nothing to
Mm.
do with your original question or what we was just talking about. So I
Oh,
felt
I
like we
see.
were closing a chapter, and I was getting ready to start a new chapter, and they said, "Hold on," and the other ones are saying, "Let's go." So I'm like, "Well, hold on." So that's why I was like, "Okay, wait a minute." So I
Yeah.
had to like regroup and like because they get
Yeah.
excited when the info comes. Um.
Nice.
So and then
I'm glad you guys are excited. So if you guys want to talk,
it's
have at it.
tight.
Yeah, yeah. But make sure that whatever you guys say, make sure it's,
They have
beneficial
a pretty
to
good
us.
connection. So like we talking about the negatives and the negative energies, and when you leave in the haunted houses, you don't want to take what's in there. So it's
Mm.
like a virus, an airborne virus. You got to make sure you stay protected. Otherwise, you're walking into a fire. When most people who are doing positive things, they don't want to be around that negative because you're going to be on a lower frequency. So the negative
Mm.
energy knows that you are gullible mortal, and they can jump on you. Now, how do you know? Because when you leave, you probably got bad luck. You might not feel so very well the next day. You might feel like, oh, I got a flat tire, my shoestring broke, I spilt the milk. They could be little things like that. And you're going to remember, like, oh, son of a biscuit, it happened ever since I went to the haunted house. Why?
Mm.
Because you're now in a portal that when you leave that frequency, you get what's on it. So
Mm.
unless you like, it's like you go outside in the winter. You don't go outside in shorts. You mentally prepare. You put your coat on, your boots on, stuff like that, right? So when you go
Right.
into the haunted house, are you prepared? Do
Not
you have
really.
any
Not a
kind of
lot.
protection ring up? Because the negative feeds off of fear. Fear
Hmm.
is
So,
opposite of love. So if love is the highest frequency, fear is the lowest frequency.
hmm,
Heal is hell. Your
yeah.
head
Oh,
is
wow.
heaven.
Yeah.
Your
Heard
heart
that.
is the ear. The heart, two ears put together is a heart. Your spine is
Mm.
33, which is 33 steps to Jacob's ladder. Your brain is
Wow.
Genesis, the cerebellum, the right hemisphere and left hemisphere with the cherubs protecting it. The pineal gland is in the center of the brain. When the pineal gland is opened, it's a pine cone. So now you can tap into your third eye. So when I do it, I told God, like, you want me to tell these humans, but they're going to say I'm crazy. I'm not a boardwalk medium, so let's make it fun. And they said, okay. I said, well, when people leave me, I want them to have something to go with. These people wouldn't help me, so let's give them something to go with. And he says, okay, we're going to give them a frequency, we're going to give them a chakra, and we're going to tell them how to balance. The minute you do that, now you're going to pop on a frequency where now you can get some blessings and not have bad luck.
If somebody gets a monkey on their back, so to speak, and these negative entities, what's the best way for them to tell them to go away? Do they just tell them, say, get out of here, leave me alone? Like,
no, put a frequency on. It's like
oh,
sage. Think about it like this. When a church sages, a Catholic church, that's because they saging because the negative energies that people might bring in. Energy is everywhere. It's emotion, energy and motion, right? So energy is
yeah,
everywhere. It's on fabric, is on everything. Energy is everywhere. So time, it doesn't sit. So when you sage the church, some people say, I don't like the smell. I say, well, that's okay. You don't got to smell it. Play a 528. A
there you go.
528 hertz frequency is going to bring a positive atmosphere like sage in the air, but you don't smell it. So,
Yeah,
excuse me, if you open each window in the house, crack it. You don't got to open it, but you got to crack it. And then you play
yeah,
the frequency and you say, I remove all negative energy 3 times, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And I guarantee you they're going to exit. Why? Because you're doing the opposite of a banshee. A negative is a banshee. She screams and breaks the windows. Yeah, okay, well, if that's what she can do, you play the frequency. So now she says, ah, and they leave.
nice,
So you
nice.
do the
I love
opposite.
that.
You can't battle them. You don't know how to battle them. Why would you want
Yeah,
to battle a ghost? Come on, people. No, play the frequency and let them leave. Bye-bye.
let them go.
Because you can't
It will.
uninvite them.
Yeah,
You can invite them. You can't uninvite. So
Ooh,
how do you uninvite a guest? How do you uninvite somebody negative? You think they're really going to leave your house? No. You got to force them
yeah.
out. How do you force them without touching them? A frequency.
Interesting. That reminds me, for those that are listening, and if you guys seen the movie Spider-Man, there's a villain called Venom. He wears black. And the way that Spider-Man defeats Venom is frequency. Like he'll hit a bell or anything that makes noise, and that entity would just start ripping itself out. And like when they grabbed Spider-Man, it took him over, and then he got hit by a bell, and then this thing just was like, so wow.
Talk about bells. Ah, that's so funny. You notice there's
Yeah,
no more bells.
yeah. There's no. Are you talking about at churches? Yeah, yeah. Why
They
aren't
took
there
all the bells
bells?
down. If you
Why?
look at history, they took the bells because the negatives can't handle the bells.
So wait a minute. I thought the church is supposed to be protected from the negatives. So if you
It's
take
a
the bells
man-made
out,
building. I tell people this: why do you got to go to church to talk to God? I don't. I talk
I've
to
been
God
saying that for a while.
24/7. A
Yeah,
church is a man-made building. There's no church in heaven when you die. It's a
right.
man-made building. Anything physical you're not taking with you. It's in your heart. It's in your mind. If somebody says, when do I pray? I said, I pray all day. You're going to say, well, I'm going to say God didn't get in that car accident. Well, how come you're only saying that one time a day? You better talk to God all day long.
Yeah,
God's
yeah,
watching. Some people think that just because I tell you something and I've got an ulterior motive that it's okay, you can't fool God or the universe.
right,
So that don't make
right.
sense. Why even try? Some people say, well, why? And I say, well, ask God. Because you're going to be sitting there waiting all day. Because he's not going to tell you why. You got to figure
Yeah,
out the why. That's why you're here. You're in the game of life figuring out your purpose. You're not just here to be here.
yeah,
You are actual soul having a human experience. You are not a human with a soul. You are a
yes.
soul having a human experience. When you
I love that you
realize
said
that
that.
somebody is your control, you're being controlled by your higher self, then you'll get the game.
Yeah,
But the more people want to go against it, external ego, you're not going to get nowhere. You don't learn the outside, but do you know the inside?
yeah. I love that you said that we, you know, we are spirits having a human experience.
Yeah, you a
right?
soul in a human shell.
That's yeah.
I
A lot of
think the
people,
window to the soul are in the eyes.
oh, absolutely. I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah.
that.
If I don't like somebody, if they got negative energy, I won't look at them.
Mm,
I will not make
interesting.
eye contact with them. Even people at work. I work at FedEx, and there's lots of packages that come through. So my gifts I
Mm,
can use at work too. It's cool.
nice.
Like with my stuff when I'm doing research for people and stuff.
Mm,
Yeah, boop, boop, it comes in. I just tap
right.
in like, okay, they need their package. Help me out, and then boop, the answer comes. But yeah, the window. If there's a few people that I don't, not so very nice, so I don't look at them. I won't even go near
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. That makes
But let
sense.
me
I
tell you,
should.
because of my protection rings and because of my crystals, they
Mm,
don't come very close.
wow. So
They're not
they
able
see
to.
you. They
Yep.
see you from a distance. Well, your energetic self or whatever
Yep.
or whatever.
And they won't.
Mm,
They
that's
won't be able to come very far. They come and then leave.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have a certain area, and I just have my. It's like it just happens. My daughter says, Mom, I've noticed in the past few years that when people do you wrong, it doesn't work out for them. I said, I
Mm,
know. That's because I tell you, you got to keep doing right. You should definitely learn by my leading example. You don't do people
yeah.
wrong. You don't say
Yeah.
rude things. You don't be mean. And you got to be nice. And if you don't want to be nice, you don't do nothing.
Yeah.
So, but people who try to be mean, especially towards me at the level of my gifts, it does not work out for them very well.
Yeah. Don't mess with Dina.
I just say, like, I got an angelic army. Like, I done died and
Yeah.
God brought me back. I died in 2003 2004 when I had my daughter. So if God
Yeah.
brought me back here, I say no human can take me. They can hurt me, but God, He's got me here for a reason. So you got to be nice. I gotta have gratitude for the fact that He gave me a chance with my daughter. She could have been left without a mom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my job is to lead by example and be nice. You got to be nice.
Yeah.
There's different ways to handle people. You don't got to be mean.
Yeah.
And they think
Absolutely.
the truth hurts. So some people they say like, well, why you say that? I say, well, I'm not being mean, but the only way for you to get it is to say facts.
Gotta say the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like take it or leave it. I mean, information is powerful. And some
Yeah.
people just don't know how to. Yeah. Some people just don't know how to take it. Some people don't know how to deliver it. Some people don't know how to take it. It's just it is what it is, and but just be open to it, right? Like for you coming in, and just saying, hey, look, I got a message for you. The first thing that people like we talked about, they react like defensive. Just okay, what's up? And that's how I would take it. All right, what's up? And then proceed forward. Everybody's so defensive, especially these days, right? Everybody's so sensitive. Everybody's so defensive. Everybody's politically correct, which I don't understand that either because when you're behind your closed doors at your own house, you say everything under the sun, but then you hear somebody else say, and you're around a group, and then you say, "Oh, they said that." Well, so did you just yesterday.
It's like,
So,
are you really being true to you? Are you really being truly
yeah,
authentic? Because I don't think so. That's why I tell people I don't play about my gifts. That's one thing
yeah.
I don't play about my gifts. When it's funny because you had just said something that I thought, and I wanted to say something to co-sign, and then next thing you know, it left, and I
Mm.
was like, oh, son of a biscuit.
Come back, come back, come back.
What was the last part you just mentioned?
The last part was about like hypocrites, um, people saying things behind closed doors and then coming out and being sensitive about other people saying it. That was the last
Yeah,
piece.
and yeah, that did bring me to this because some people want me to candy coat things. Some people
Mm,
get upset. Like, let's say they come to me and they want um okay, so some people want me to give them answers, right? But they're not so very open.
mm,
So do you really think God's going to give you an answer if you being an internal hypocrite? So
right.
I'll get some people that'll try to challenge me during a reading, and
Mm,
we're a group reading because I do house readings too. And
mm,
some people I can feel that one is going to challenge me. And I kind of look at them like, number one, my rates are very low. My rates, I did free stuff for like the first, gosh, like 6 months. I've had
Yeah.
mediums on the East Coast message me like, why are you so cheap? You're killing my business. And I'm like, look, Burger King don't tell McDonald's what to do. So bye-bye. So I just block them and that was it. But I keep it as
Yeah.
low as I can for the energy exchange because I do have some people that will take advantage of it. But it's a matter of I can't keep giving messages and somebody not giving something in return. It's all give and
I
take.
see.
It's an
Okay.
energy exchange. So
I see.
because I know I have to do the energy exchange because otherwise I'm going to be depleted. I'm not going to have nothing in my basket and everybody else is going to have tons of apples.
Okay.
So
Now that makes sense. Okay.
So it's
That
got
makes
to be an
sense.
energy. That's why it's technically bartering. It's not supposed to be money. It's barter. You got apples,
Yeah.
you got oranges, we barter.
Trade.
Yeah,
Oh
that's what it
man.
is. So that's how it works in this in 5D. That's what we're
Yeah.
ascending to. Like if somebody says, Dina, and I have it all the time. I do a lot. I do a lot of free stuff. Even when I find the
Yeah.
missing people, I work with my volunteers. I don't charge, not nobody.
Uh,
But what will happen is somebody will say like, well, I don't have any money, but I'm a Sensi consultant. Can I send you some items? And I say, oh yeah, I am not allowed to decline.
I
I'm not
see.
allowed to
Because
decline.
they're still giving you that exchange.
Energy exchange. Money is the root to all evil.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd rather have 3,000 clients that I can help in this confusing game of life for $100 each rather than have 10 for 1,000 each.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Dang.
So I keep
I
my
didn't even
rate
think about that.
very, very, very low, probably cheaper than a night's out to dinner, with your family, with the way costs are nowadays.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I don't play about my gifts and I keep them very low so I can help people. So I don't know if that's why some people think they can challenge me, but you're going to know right off the bat. And then they'll kind of be like, well, I didn't get much message. Well, you did not open. I've had some people where
Yeah.
I had to tell them like, I can't even do the reading because you're so blocked. I need you to listen
Mm,
to a frequency and then we'll catch up in 2 days. So
that
nobody
makes sense.
loses their, money or their session. But in order for the reading that you're really looking for, I need you to help me because if you're not open to receive the message, you're not going to get it. Now I can battle you energetically. I'll go right around your head, right into the back door. So that's not a problem. I can get in your mind, but why do I got to put all that energy into you when you're the one asking me the question?
Right. Yeah, that makes
But
perfect sense.
I've learned that part of my gift. Like stop using 1 hour in the channel is 9 hours of physical work.
Mm,
So I'm not going to
wow.
play dentist with somebody. And my
Yeah.
elders say no. Is they going to want the information or not want it? Yeah,
Yeah.
my job isn't to convince people. My job is to use my gift of gab. And I worked in telecommunications, but my job is to use my gift of gab to create it so people can see different perceptions. So by me going in the mind, I can see which way you learn because we all learn different. By knowing which way you learn, I now can help you maneuver through this game of life and get through the situation you need to get through so you can get to where you get to. I have some clients that say like, oh my gosh, I don't know if my relationship's going to last. And I say, well, don't think about it. Give yourself 30 days and let's clear you so you can make the right decision for you.
I love
I'm
it.
not going to tell you to
That's,
stay or
yeah.
leave. But what I'm going to tell you to do is I'm going to help you clear the negative because how do we
hmm
know that it's not you carrying the negative causing the
Right.
problem?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
because you're
Good point.
reaching out doesn't mean you're the right one. So let's clear you out. So once you're clear and washed, no more mud on you, right? Then you can now see what you need to see because you don't got mud tainting your vision.
And something that everybody can do to clear, like you said, 30 days, play some frequency. Let's say 528 is a good one, right?
Yep,
So
5 to
play
8.
528. Yeah.
Can't go
Do
wrong
that
with
for 30 days. And then also, I think you advise this to me as well to also say, in the morning, I remove all negative energy, correct?
it. Yeah. And this is like another one to make it easy. When you shower in, you're getting rid of the dirt on your body. So get rid of the
Mm,
dirt on your aura. You tell yourself, I remove all negative energy. Now you getting a double power pellet, and that's because water carries memory. So now you telling the water, I remove all negative energy. So boom, now you get out the shower and you lotioning and you brushing your teeth and in your head, As you brushing the teeth, getting rid of the dirt, I remove all negative energy. And if you go potty, you're going to do the same thing as you pottying. I remove all, you doing it anyway, get rid of it.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
doing is telling the cells in your body to get rid of it. The bathroom's the perfect time.
Yeah.
So now when you leave for the day, you already ready because you know you're going to get some negative BS out there. But
There you
now
go.
you're already on a high frequency. So if
Yeah.
somebody knocks you down a little bit, you still good.
Still good. I love that. It's just the same way as people would in the morning do affirmations or whatever the case is. So I remove all negative energy as I'm prepping myself for the day. And then you go forth into the day with negative energy removed in a higher frequency, things like that.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great advice. I'm sure a lot of people are going to take that to heart. I know I've done it. I've done it since we've talked and I feel good about it. So I appreciate you on that.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome.
yeah, Dina. So, I mean, I can obviously talk to you like all day because
It's
not
so fun.
only, yeah, it's so fun and everything. It's an exchange of information. You have a great, bright, beautiful personality and everything, and it definitely shines through. I know that you made a difference for me in the few days that we've met, and I know, and I'm hoping that by people listening in the days and months and years to come, this particular episode, that they're getting something out of this. Um, I have a feeling that that's going to happen. That's going to be based off of you. So as we wrap up this episode, I always ask my guests three questions that I put together. I'm going to ask you these questions and I just want to hear your answer. And there is no right or wrong answer on this.
Okay.
So are you ready? All right. So the first question is, if you could send a message to humanity that everyone would hear, what would it be?
Awaken. Awaken. You have to awaken yourself. You have to open this perspective in order to say, like, okay, this could be or this could be. You got to awaken. It's like you are in standing and you see all these people walking, almost like Times Square, in a busy city. And everybody is just literally robotically programmed. But then you see that one person over yonder, and that one person is awakened, just looking around like, hello, hello, do you see me? Hello, awaken. Don't follow the crowd. They're hypnotized. You got to awaken. When you awaken, you're going to get the information that you need. It doesn't mean everything I say or everything another person says is 100% true. Nobody's perfect, but it's the right wavelength for you to jump on to figure out which way you need to go for your journey in life.
I
You have
love
to
that.
awaken.
Thank you, Dina. What is one mystery of the universe that you wish that you could solve?
Thank you. One thing that is intriguing to me is numbers with my numerology and even the frequencies. The answer is through numerology. 369 are the numbers. Everything in the world runs on numbers. Your birth certificate, your license plate, your social security card, your ATM cards, your credit cards, your address, your phone number. Everything every day runs on numbers. Each number has each letter has a number connected to it. So everything runs on numbers. When you have what? A combination, the correct combination, it unlocks answers. When you know the numbers to the universe, 369 to divine, you'll know how to unlock some of the mysteries of the universe. I'm intrigued and familiar with geometry, calculus, physics. So when you get into, and then numerology, when you get into the numbers, that's when you can maneuver through. So
I
it's
love
the
that.
numbers. It's not something that I can break, but being on the journey of the number path allows you to get some answers that you need. They say Einstein and Tesla that You got to pop on the next frequency to get the resolution to the problem. You're never going to get a resolution to the problem on the frequency of the problem.
Mm.
In order
Well
to do
said.
that, you got to jump numbers. We know that because of school. What do? 1 through 12. They done taught it to us. We didn't know what they were teaching us. You know what I mean? The 5 food groups ain't 5 food groups. The 5 food groups is your chakras: red, orange, yellow, green, and blue.
Yeah.
When you get those chakras, there's a variety of fruits and veggies you can use with those chakras. You can't go wrong. You're not going to gain that much weight eating fruits and veggies.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that is so true.
it's just not going to happen. You might retain water, but you're not going to gain weight. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as long as you get your chakra colors, then that's your 5 food groups. Now, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's red. And then they used to have the fake fruit on the table. That's orange. Then your banana, and then your grapes, and then your blueberries, or sometimes the purple grapes. So it's right there. We just didn't know why great grandparents had fake fruit on the table. When your soul sees it, you automatically align your chakra. The chakra that is weak that day is probably a chakra that when you put your clothes on and you say, what shirt do I want to wear today? Oh, I'll wear the purple. Well, 9 times out of 10, that purple is what you need because your purple chakra is off. It's running too fast or too slow, so you got to balance it. So by seeing that color, your soul knows exactly how to align.
I love it. It makes
I think I
sense.
went on a
Wow.
tangent, but I hope that
No. You again, like I said, there is no right or wrong answer. It is your response to the question. I love every bit of it. I'm here for it.
Thank you.
All right. And then the last question is, beyond all the knowledge and experiences you've gained, what still leaves you in awe or makes you question everything?
What leaves me in awe is the fact of how people are amazed at my gifts. Like, it's like me? What? Um, so that leaves me in awe. It really does. I just get amazed that, um, it's like, what? Yeah, that people will say like, oh, your gifts are amazing. So that's what I say in awe. What was the second part of the question again?
Oh, it was the same thing. It was just more of just, what still leaves you questioning everything, even though you've learned everything that you've learned up to this point. There's still something that still makes you go like, man, it keeps your brain spinning, you know?
No, I don't question. I don't question that. When I don't get the answer here, because they're not going to have the answer. If the humans have the answer, they're going to tell us, but they're not going to tell us. You're not going to get it. So I don't waste that time and energy. I just give it to God, because
There
God's
you
going
go.
to tell me. That's why we pray. So I just talk to God. My Wi-Fi connection to God is like yours right now. I really like that. I just tune right on in. And
Right.
yeah, I listen and I just ask him like, I don't ask why. I tell him like, it's a fun game. What you want me to do next? So then he'll say like, well, we're gonna do this or we're gonna do that. And I say, oh, okay. I went to a house party in Pennsylvania and it was I love my Hockenbrocks. And Shamokin, Pennsylvania, it's Hobart. I said, this is weird. It's Cole County, right? And
Yeah.
when I went up there, the lady had all this stuff, and she's like, "Look, come here." And I looked in the fridge, and I was like, "Oh gosh, you have all this stuff and cheese and all these trays and the grill and juice." And I said, "You did all this for me?" She said, "Yeah, you was coming, and we're all excited to meet you and do." And I said, "No, you're doing this for me." She said, yeah. I said, it's funny because you don't even realize I'm homeless. At the time I did this, I was homeless. She didn't know. But it was just so cool that, I got a stranger who actually is amazed at my gifts. But I got family back in the state of Maryland who were not so very good. So it really was like this lady really did this for me. So I get amazed and I'm in awe. Kind of like people if they get shy or blushing, like, what? You do that for me? But it's just my gift. So I don't I don't see myself how other people see me. When I helped find Brendan Santos in Michigan, I worked with quite a bit of volunteers. I didn't know how it was going to pan out. So I didn't ask. I just took it in the now. You might hear people say in the past, you'd be depressed. In the future, you get anxiety. Be in the now. Be in the present because it's a gift for you to be here. So when you be in the now, when I'm doing my spiritual work, I didn't have to ask why because they just telling me. So I guess that's why it's so different for me to see what others see. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a blessing. It's not a curse. It's a blessing. You just
Yeah.
got to know how to handle it. So my daughters is gifted, but they don't really handle it so very well. So it's tucked away until they're ready. But I mean, they come from me, so I can't. They got my DNA in them. You know what I mean? So I can't say they're
Yeah.
not gifted. But yeah, they gifted as much as I was hoping that Yeah, my one daughter gets premonitions and she don't like it, so it's tucked away. My
Yeah.
other daughter, she's very intuitive, very empath. She can get it real easy. She can, yeah. So but they learning, and because it's not up to me, it's up to them and God. You know,
Right.
it's whenever God wants you to tune in. But the more you break a generational curse, the more the people below you are going to be fine. I say, you know
Um,
what? I'm going to walk this. I'm going to walk this path because you give it to me because I'm going to break it for everybody after me. I don't want my daughters going through this. I've done been held hostage. I've done been sexually assaulted. And I don't want them to have to go through any of that. So I'm going to
right.
stop it here and break it. And whatever cost I got to do, I'm going to do it so they can not have to deal with this. They can live a life of positivity, and my grandsons as well, and everybody after that. So that's why I do what I do. And that's why I don't play about my gifts.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's
Yeah. Well,
wow, that's a beautiful thing. And I see when you said, you say like, wow, like me, like you really, I I see what they see. Obviously, I'm on the other side, so I see what they see, and I've said it numerous times. You're definitely gifted. I also do appreciate that you've gifted me your time to be on this podcast,
I
and then you've
appreciate you
also,
having me. Sorry to cut you off. I'm
yeah.
like, oh, that was so nice of you. Thank you.
No, good. And it's some kind of form of exchange of energy, I believe. No matter how far we are, I think, in my perspective, I think distance is an illusion. So I think we're in the same space, but physically here in this third density, we are apart, miles away and things like that. But we're connected, so like I said, from the moment that you said hello when I first met you, I was like, all right, something's good about this soul, and this
I
energy.
love it.
So, so I appreciate it. I want to give you the opportunity to, if folks do want to get in contact with you, is there a way they can get in contact with you? And if so, how would that be?
It's great. Thank you for having me. And thank you for allowing me to connect with you and being open to receive my gifts and the messages that my elders and angels and spirit guides have brought through as well. And they say much gratitude. Um, yours is Beyond the Frequency. And I actually have a Facebook page, public and private. It's Beyond the Senses. We have 5 senses that we know externally, and I help show and guide people how to tap into those 5 senses internally. So I have Beyond the Senses. You can reach out to me on Facebook, send me a message, however they say it, PM, DM, whatever all these slang nowadays. But you can just send me a message on there. I do readings all over the US, Ireland, Canada, UK, and Europe. I've done many readings right on video and messenger. I do things locally, but since I did so much locally, I built my gifts and my clientele long distance. So I did that first, and then I kind of come in and shrunk, and now I can do things locally. But I figured people locally could know me. So what better way to test my gifts than to test them with strangers that I don't know outside? So that's what I've done the past 4 years. So now is the time that I've kind of like shrunken it a little bit more. I still do my long distance, but now I do more local as well. Yeah.
I love it. And I will make sure that I have Dina's contact information in the description below. So you guys can just scroll on down and get to
Well, thank
her
you.
page and things like that. Absolutely. I usually have a transition out, when I end this, but like I'm in awe. I had a great time having this episode recorded, having you on board, just sharing just such good information. But I think what I got more out of this, the takeaway is you've shared so much positive energy. Like there's so much good energy that just alone, even if some people didn't understand certain things, the energy that they got from it, that's what they take away. And that's what I love about this, reaching out to people in long distances and things like that. So if you're at Dunkin' Donuts, or you're at a retail store in the warehouse putting away boxes, if you're at FedEx, if you're driving to work and you're listening to this, I don't know what you got from this, but I can guarantee that what you did take away was good vibes, good
Yeah.
energy,
Wishing
good feels, mission complete. So take that with you throughout your day, and just be blessed, right?
That's right. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So vibe high.
Ooh. And on that note, we will end this podcast. And again, for all of you, like and subscribe this. If you got something out of this, share this with at least one person that you know that could use this conversation. One person. All right.
Right.
And that'll be you doing your part to the world. Okay. Continue to ask these questions, continue to push beyond what's currently known, and continue to go beyond the frequency.